Right, good day there. We're doing the October-November 2022 paper 1-2 core. Let's start. Right, first question there. Write the number 80,080 in figures. There's a red slide. 80,080. So that's it. You just squeeze that together. So it's an 8, 2 zeros, another 8, and a 0. Okay, let's have a look. Mark scheme. Yep, 80080. Write down the value 4 in 643,790. That 4 got 1, 2, 3, 4 digits after it. So we can just put zeros to that. So that's 40,000. Like on the mark scheme. Right. Find the value, square root 53.29. This is a calculated question. So you whip out your calculator and you do square root 53.29 equals, just press that button, 7.3. It is. 16 players. No, yeah, the team has 16 players. And those are the colors of their shirt. Complete the frequency table. Okay, it's good to have a system going here so you don't miss anything out. And then it's just going one by one. So blue, make a tally for one for blue. Silver, make a tally green. Remember, when you get to 5, you draw a line through it. And then frequency is just a number. And done. Let's check if it's right. 34261. 34261. Yes. Drawing a net. Get your ruler out. Use a pencil. Let's look carefully. Okay, so we see there is a side that's 2 centimeters, so that obviously refers to this side here. Okay, so what we have already there drawn for us is the base of the shape. So that's what we have, the base. Okay, and the 5 centimeters there is the 5 centimeters here. So to the base now, we need to attach the front. Let's do that in green. So if we do the front, attach to the base, that's a rectangle that is 4 by 5 centimeters. So we need to draw a rectangle here that's 4 by 5. Now we already have the 5 centimeter width, so they fit nicely together. Okay, so that's the front face. Now attached to the front face, at the top, there, okay, we have the top, okay, which is exactly the same as the bottom. They are similar, exactly, well, equal. So we need to draw another rectangle like we did over there, which is 2 by 5. And you really do use a pencil to do this. Okay, that's the top. And then of course, at the back there, so we go all the way around the cuboid, is another rectangle which is exactly the same as the front. So we need to do another rectangle that is 4 by 5. And see how perfectly that fits into this whole thing. Oh. Alright, so did you get that? Let me write it down. This is the bottom. This is the front. This is the top. And that's the back. Okay, so we've got all around, but we're not finished because the cuboid's got 6 sides. What we're missing is the two sides. Let's zoom in there. Ooh. Look at it. So let's clear up the clutter. Okay. What we're missing now, let's do this. Is this side attached to the side? Yeah. And that will be 4 by 2. Very easy to see. And then on the other side, exactly the same rectangle attached to the other side. So to finish that off, we need to attach the sides. We can attach that anywhere, really. But since it's 2 by 4, it will be smart to attach it to the top or the bottom. Okay, so remember it's 2 by 4 centimeters. So we already have the 2 of the top. Oh no, we do the 4. So when this shape is being folded, this side here of the front will fit onto that side of the side, and the back will meet up there with that side. Okay, and then we can just draw the same on the other side. And there's it. Right, well, you could have drawn it there as well. Anywhere is fine. Let's see what the mark scheme says. Fully correct net. So it doesn't say much there. But yeah, there it is. Fully correct net. On to question 5. Lines of symmetry. Back with the ruler and the pencil. Let me first show what it's not. That is not a line of symmetry. Okay, because as you fold it over, it's not a mirror image, it won't quite fit. Okay, so to get it right, we're going to have one line of symmetry going horizontal, one line of symmetry exactly in the middle going vertical. That's it, 2 lines here. 2 lines and no extras to get full marks. So don't draw that diagonal. That's not going to be right. Question 6, we need to put in some brackets. Let's just see what's going on here. Remember BIDMAS. First we need to do brackets. There's no brackets. Then we need indices, any powers, any squares, cubes. There's none of that. Then we need to do division. So we have division there. So the first question, you'll do 4 divided by 2 first. So that will give you 10 minus 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then we multiply. Then we add. Then we subtract. So 10 minus 2 is that first part. And then plus 18. So 10 minus 2 is 8. Plus 18 is 26. That's the answer we would get if we did it just the way it is. But they want the answer 21. And for that, we need to add in some brackets. Okay, so it will have no purpose adding brackets there because we're already doing division first. So that's useless. We can add brackets here. Okay, but then we have 10 minus 4 divided by, and we have to 2 plus 18 first. So we end up with 2 minus 4 divided by 20. Now you can use your calculator for this. 10 minus 4 divided by 20. I mean, that's going to give you a fraction. So that's definitely not it. So the only other option we have is putting the brackets there. Okay, that would give us, first we do 10 minus 4, which is 6. Then we're left with divide by 2 plus 18. Then we do the division. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Plus the 18. Yes, that gives us 21. So final answer is you put the brackets. You can always, of course, check this with your calculator. Okay, bracket 10 minus 4. Bracket divided by 2 plus 18. There we go, 21. In fact, why don't we speed things up with the next one, just using the calculator. Let's put it in the way it is, 7 times 3 plus 1 plus 1. Now it's going to do the multiplication first, which is 7 times 3 is 21, and then add the 1 and the add 1 to 1 gives you 23. So where do we put the brackets? Well, let's go back, let's put in some brackets. Let's see what happens if we put in brackets between just the 1 and the 1. Okay, nothing changes because it still does the multiplication first. So let's put the brackets between the 3 and the 1. Bam. No, 29. Oh, she's doing it wrong because I put a 1 instead of a 2. There we go. Bam. 30. Now we got it right. So we put the brackets over there. 3 plus 1. Isosceles triangle, equation 7. What does it mean? It means that these two sides are the same length. That means the two base angles are the same. So the one on the right is 34, the one on the left is 34. Angles in a triangle add up to 180. So we just need to subtract the two base angles from that. What will be that? 180 minus 68 is 112. Let's check if we got that right. Yes. Okay. Question 8, simplifying is collecting like terms. First we got the 6 and let's circle this. 6 and minus 2a. That minus goes with the 2. The sign is in front of the term it goes with. So that's 6 minus 2a, which will give us 4a. And then we have the positive 3b minus 5b. So it's a positive 3 minus 5. 3 minus 5b, negative 2b. Okay, and there we go. You see you're going to factorize it as well. You don't need to do that. 4a minus 2b is good enough. Question 8b. Find the value of s when t is 6, a is 3. This is simple substitution. So let's write the equation again. X equals 5. And in brackets we put the value of t, which is 6. So it's 5 times 6 plus a half. A is 3, so in brackets we put 3. T is 6, in brackets we put 6. And then put the square out there. Okay, you don't have to use brackets, you could put times in between the values as well. It's just brackets is always safer, especially if there's negative numbers. Alright, so we just put that into our calculator. 5 and there we go, 84, which is correct. Right, column vectors, straightforward. Add the 6 and the 4, you get 10. Minus 3 plus minus 5 is the same as minus 3 minus 5 minus 8. Whereas on question B, this means multiply the scalar. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times minus 2, minus 12. And those are correct. Right, question 10 says, without using your calculator, but who's going to know if we do this? There we go, answer 7 over 18. Okay. Of course, if you look at the mark scheme, right, this A mark, where it says, let's use red on this one, A1, you only get this mark if you get the method mark there. Which means if we write 7 over 18, and we don't write the working out before, we get 0. So for this, I'd get 0 marks. What we need to show is, how do we do this without a calculator? To do that, we need to remember, we need to get the common denominator before we can subtract. So what's the lowest common multiple of 9 and 6? Well, we can do 9 times 6, which is 54, but there's a lower number. Yeah, if we look at the 9 times tables, 9, 18, 27, 6 times tables, 6, 12, 18. 18 is the lower common denominator. So let's multiply the first fraction by 2, which is 10 over 18. Multiply the second fraction by 3, which gives us 3 over 18. Now that we have the denominator is the same, we can subtract. 10 minus 3 is 7. And remember, the denominator stays the same. Now we get 4 marks. We get 1 mark for getting the common denominator. And then they'll give you that mark for the correct answer. Okay, see 10 over 18 and 3 over 18. But like I said, any correct common denominator. So if you could have used 36, 54 as a common denominator, you could still get full marks. Right, 4-faced dice. Don't see them a lot. The table shows the probability of scoring each number. Now, remember that probabilities always add up to 1 or 100%, which means if we add up these probabilities, 0.17 plus whatever the one that is missing, plus, let me write it down, the missing one, plus 0.28 plus 0.31, you need to add up to 1. Okay. Or 17% plus 28% plus 31% plus the other one should be 100% because it's all the possible outcomes. So to find that missing value, we just need to do 1 minus all the other values added together. So let's do that. Which gives us 0.24. Okay, which is correct. And there you can see the working out. It's important. Okay, be careful here when they ask you to find the next two terms. Don't write the nth term. But what we do is we check what is the term rule. And for this one is we're subtracting 1, then we're subtracting 3, then we're subtracting 5, then we're subtracting 7. So of course the next one we subtract 9, 11 minus 9 being 2. Right there. And then we're going to say subtract 11. 2 minus 11 being, what could that only be? Minus 9, is it? Okay. 2 and minus 9. Be 1 for each correct answer. Alright, the next one clearly asks for the nth term. So again, we see, what are we adding each time? We're adding 7, adding 7, adding 7, adding 7. And the nth term has got an n in it. Alright, so you're not, well, the biggest temptation here is always to write n plus 7, right? That is not the correct answer. Let's just get that very clear. Although students still always write that. Okay, if it's plus 7 each time, it is just like the 7 times table, which goes 7, 14, 21, 28. You see, 7 times table, you add 7. So 7 times table is 7 times n. Difference here being, we didn't start at 7, we started at 3, so we need to subtract 4. It works every time. 14 minus 4 is 10, 21 minus 4 is 17, 28 minus 4 is 24, 38, etc. So it's just 7n minus 4. Okay, there it is. You get one mark for the 7n, 1 mark for the minus 4. Right, Darryl, number of hours people exercise. So to find the median of course is middle. Before we can find the middle, we need to arrange them from the biggest to the smallest. So let's do that. What's the smallest value there? 1.5, the lazy guy. Then let's cross them out as we go along. Then there's 2 people that exercises 2 hours a week. I mean, anything is better than nothing. There's the guy that's 3 hours. Somebody that's 4 hours, getting better. 4.5, a little bit more. 5 hours is good, it's an hour a day. That's good a weekday. And then there's me, 18 hours, super fit, big muscles. Okay, so middle, let's look for the middle number. There's different ways of doing this. Let's just do it like the cutter. So you can cross off the first, the last, the second. And then we'll see the middle is between 3 and 4. Okay, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 on the left and 4 on the right. So what's halfway between 3 and 4? 3.5. So the median hours of exercise a week, 3.5 hours. There we go. Explain why the mean might not be suitable average to use. Oh, these explain questions. Let's see, why can't it be suitable? What do you do when you do the mean? You add them all up, you divide them by how many there is, and we don't have to do that. We just say why would it be good. So if we look at those numbers, there is one that's very different, way more than the other. Okay, that must be a Olympic athlete or something, and that we call an outlier. So we might write anything referring to that 18. Let's see what they say in the mark scheme. Okay, they say one extreme value. Oh my goodness. I mean, there's many ways to write this. How are they going to attribute it, right? I will write something like the 18 as an outlier. Refer to that 18. If you write the number 18, I doubt they will be able to mark it wrong. Okay, so I would write 18 is an outlier and skews the results. Something like that. Okay. Question 14, straightforward calculated question. So let's do that. There we go, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. 3, 4, 5, 6. Next one, make sure you know how to use all the buttons in your calculator. For this one, you'll press Shift, fraction button, 2, 1 over 8 times 6 over 17. 3/4 it is. Check if we got those two right. 3, 4, 5, 6. 3/4, you can also write it as a decimal. Question 14c, let's continue there with the calculator. This one, fraction. What's important here is using these arrow buttons to make sure you move the indicator to the right place, putting in the right amount of brackets, and then we got 1/4. Okay, which you can write as a decimal as well if you want. Right, so Jenna buys ribbon and fabric. What is good is lots of words jumbles up in our minds. Let's sort it out in a kind of table or what you want. Yeah, there's two things. There's ribbon and there's fabric. Let's put what belongs to what. The ribbon, she buys 2.4 meters. The fabric, 4.8 meters. Okay. Now the total cost is 33.48. Okay, the ribbon costs 0.85 per meter. Find the cost of 1 meter of fabric. Okay, so now that we sorted things a bit more clear what goes where, we can see that 2.4 meters goes with the 0.85. Okay, so how much would we pay for the ribbon? $0.85, yeah? So if we multiply that together, 2.4 times 0.85, let's do that. We see that we'll pay $2.04 for that ribbon. Okay. So it means the rest of the money that Jenna paid must have gone towards the fabric. So we take that fabric there and we subtract the money we paid for the ribbon, and then we'll know how much we paid for the fabric. So do 33.48 minus my previous answer, automatically inserted. That's 31.44. Okay, So it means for the fabric, the 4.8 meter of fabric, she paid $31.44. And here comes the last bit. How much does she pay for 1 meter of fabric? So let's think about it like this, right? So we got 4.8. We want to now know what does 1 meter of ribbon cost. To do that, we're going to have to divide 4.8 by 4.8. That will give us 1 meter. So we do the same for the money. We divide it by 4.8 and then we'll know how much 1 meter costs. So 31.44 divided by 4.8, there we go, $6.55 is the final answer. Right, my working hour is a bit all over the place, especially here where I got 6.55 equals, right? So maybe don't confuse that, don't write it like that to confuse people. Make sure your working out is clear what you've done where. It's not random like mine. Okay, $6.55, and that is the correct answer. Question 16, expand brackets. X times x, of course, being x squared, and x times 8 being 8x. Factorize. I'm going to do this the long way, so you can clearly see what's going on. We can break that 6 down into 2 times 3. It's not 2.3, 2 times 3 times a. And then we got 3 times a times b. So what we would like to do here is connect the common terms. They both terms has a 3 in it, and both terms has an a in it. So that's the common factor of both. So that 3a we can write in front of a bracket, and then we take what's left. There's a 2 minus and a b, 2 minus b. Right, double check, yeah. 3a times 2, 6a, that's right. 3a times minus b is minus 3ab, and you know it's right. Don't factorize it partially, you only get 1 mark if you don't factorize out the 3 and the a. It does say completely. Solve. Now we define what x is. So keep your equal sign lined up. I'm going to leave the 5x where it is. I'm going to subtract x from both sides, or move the x there. Positive becomes negative. I'm going to leave the 3 on the right hand side of the equal. And we're going to add 6 to both sides, or add 6 on the other side. So that will give you 4x equals 9. And then, of course, 4 times x, we divide on the other side. So 9 over 4 is the correct answer. Okay, I'm sure you can write it down as a mixed fraction if you want. So that will be 2 1/4 or 2.25. You don't have to write all of them, just one of them. Okay. They only gave these 2 options. I'm sure they'll mark 9 over 4 correct as well. Right, here we are. Question 17, my favorite Venn diagrams. Alright, so first of all, we got a universal set. Everything in this box is people in a group. So this just means a bunch of people they asked. Do you own a bicycle? So all the people that own a bicycle is over here. Do you own a car? All the people that own a car is that one. Oh my goodness, it's that one. Okay. There are 120 people in the group. That means all the numbers in the box, when we add them up, they should equal 120. 21 own a bicycle. Okay. So, this is not my final answer yet. So, you might want to write this in pencil. In the B group, that should add up to 21. Okay. 15 people own both a bicycle and a car. Now that we can write down in pen. Okay. In here, that 15 goes in the middle because that is both the bicycle and the cycle group. Now remember, the one before said 21 owns a bicycle. Now we already have 15 people owning a bicycle. That means the 15 also owns a car. 6 of them only owns a bicycle. You see now, 6 plus 15 adds up to that green 21. Okay, which is not part of my answer, so I'm going to rub it out. But it's just there for us to make some notes. Okay. 35 people do not own a bicycle and do not own a car. So they don't go in any of the circles. They are going to go over there. Right, so we got the people that's in the group that doesn't own a bicycle or a car. We got the 6 people there that only owns a bicycle. And then we got the 15 people who owns a bicycle and the car. We still need to find out who's the people who has a car but no bicycle. Alright, so how do we do that? Remember what I said at the beginning? It all needs to add up to 120. So if we're going to subtract the numbers we have from 120, then we'll know how many people owns a car but not a bicycle. So 120 minus 6 minus 15 minus 35. Okay, 64 people. Not a very healthy city this one is. Okay, there, it's done. We got a number in each part of it and it adds up to 120. And yep, that's correct. A person from the group is chosen at random. Find the probability that this person owns a car. So, meaning they pick somebody from all of them. So there's 100 out of 120 people. People owning a car is, be careful now, right? Because we not only just count these 64, we count this 15 as well. Because they also own a car, although they own a bicycle. So it's 15 plus 64 being 79. So 79 out of 120. Okay, it doesn't say we have to simplify it. I'm sure if you do, if you can, no you can't. Okay. Or equivalent means you can write it as a decimal or a fraction. Okay. Follow through meaning if you got a mistake there but you use the right numbers, then you can still get the mark. Right. Shading. Okay, let's do that. When we shade these things, I just start with what there is. First there's a D. So let's shade D. Then there's E. Wait, let's do this in a different color. Then there's E, so let's shade E. Once we've done that, we need to think, alright, is this where we're going to leave it? We look at that in the middle, the union. Union means we combine everything. It means what we're looking for can be a D, can be an E, or can be in both. So that means we leave it the way it was. If it was intersection, then we would have only kept the part that overlaps. Then we've only kept the middle part. Okay, but it's not intersection, so we leave everything shaded the way it is. Okay, that's the correct answer, as you can see in the mark scheme. Right, question 18. The right angle triangle prism has a height of 6 centimeters, a width of W, length of 18. The volume of the prism is 810 centimeters cubed. How do we work out the volume of a triangular prism, or any prism for that matter? Okay, let's write it down. For any prism, you work out the area of the front face, which in this case is a triangle. Okay, so the area of a triangle will always be the base. This is right, yeah, the base times the perpendicular height. So the area of a triangle is half base times perpendicular height. And then once you got the area of the front face, you multiply it by the length, which in this case is 18. So let's do that. Okay, so the volume of this shape will be half base times height times the length. So let's do it over here. That would be a half, base being W, the height being 6 times 18. And as we can see, that will give us the answer that given us 810. So let's work out what we can. We can multiply the numbers together. We can multiply the 6 and the 18 and then times it by a half. Okay, so that'll give us 54 times W. Now we just need to get the W by itself. To do that, we divide 54 on both sides, or divide the 54 on the other side, whichever way you see it. So that means W equals 810 divided by 54. And there we go, 15 is the answer. Oh, there we go, 15. Write the units just to be thorough. Okay, they don't give marks for the units though, just having 15, that's good. Right, so the survey, so they weren't asked 1,002 people if they're left or right-handed. It's a bit boring, but anyway. So let's write it as a fraction. 150 out of 1,200 people are left-handed. Now the whole town is 56,000 people. All we need to do, right, what is that fraction of 56,000? That's all you need to do. Write the fraction it is, multiply it by the total number. So we got a reasonable 7,000 left-handed people. Question 20. Remember the rules of indices. When we are dividing, if the base numbers are the same, we subtract the indices, right? Meaning, for example, if you got 2 to the power of 5 divided by 2 cubed, you will do 2, 5 minus 3, ugly 3, equals 2 squared. Okay, so here we need to do the same. So 5 to the power of 8, we take that 8, divided by 5 to the power of x, we need to subtract that x, and then we'll get the answer 2. So you think to yourself, 8 minus what gives you 2? Of course, 8 minus 6 equals 2. So the answer there is x equals 6. Just 6, not 5 to the power of 6. Very important, just 6. If you write 5 to the power of 6, won't get your marks. Then remember, power to a power this time. Okay, let me write that out. X to the power of 5 actually means x to the power of 5 times x to the power of 5 times x to the power of 5. And just like when we divide, we subtract the indices. When we multiply, we add the indices. So that will be x to the power of 15. Of course, you don't have to do this whole step. You can just do 5 times 3 is 15. Just showing you why, so you remember it better. This time, you need to write x to the power of 15. Question 21, right angle triangle. When you see that, immediately you think Pythagoras or SOHCAHTOA. This is right angle triangle, Pythagoras, SOHCAHTOA. Unless, of course, they ask the area, then it's half base times height. So, are we going to use Pythagoras? Well, Pythagoras is only when we work with the lengths of the side. So, if they gave us 2 side lengths, they asked the other one, then we use Pythagoras. So in this case, we're not going to use Pythagoras because they've given us an angle. And whenever there's an angle involved, that's when we use SOHCAHTOA. Okay, so let's label the triangle first. Okay, first of all, the hypotenuse is the longest side, the side opposite the right angle. Okay, then the side opposite the angle, that's the opposite, and the side next to the angle, that's the adjacent. Right, what do they want to know? They want to know BC, the edge. What do we have? We got the hip, the hypotenuse, so we're not using the opposite side in this case. We don't want it, we don't have it. We got adjacent and hypotenuse. So let's look, where is that? There we go. Adjacent and hypotenuse means we're going to use the cos rule. K for cos, of course. So you always write the ratio, cos first. Then you write the angle, always. Equals, always. And then we see adjacent is first. So that goes at the top. So in this case, adjacent is the line BC. divided by the hypotenuse, which they gave us as 18. Okay, so to find BC, we just need to move that 18 to the other side. So divide becomes multiply. So it will be 18 times cos 42 equals BC. Put that in. And we get the answer. Alright, does this answer make sense? 13.376. Yes, because 13 is less than 18. And remember, the hypotenuse is always the longest side. How are we going to round it? Well, three significant figures will be 13 point, and after the 3 there's a 7, so 13.4. Okay, 13.4, but if you write the unrounded answer, you can still get full marks. And bam, that is over. It was fun. See you again soon.